And welcome to another episode of the In 90 Minutes podcast. My name is Ahmed Salim, and I am an Orlando City fan. I'm admitting that right now. With me here are a couple of other Orlando City fans, through thick and thin, like the jerseys used to say, right? Um, Thank you for watching this second to last home game or second to last game of the season after our last home game. Thank you to everybody that's watching. Make sure to follow our socials. We're on pretty much every major platform as at In 90 Minutes Podcast. You can also watch us live on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch as In 90 Minutes Podcast. And you can also consume this podcast if you can't watch it live on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. All right. With that said, we have a lot to talk about with our match. But before we do so, let's jump into the housekeeping. I'll skip the formalities and asking everybody how they're doing because I kind of have a feeling already. So, gentlemen, what would we like to talk about first as far as housekeeping? I know that there was some stuff going on with Pride. I believe they
Yeah, let's
played
go
and
with
they
Pride
clinched.
because Orlando
Yeah.
obviously is the heavy hitter.
Yep. So Pride, I believe they won. Who were they playing, John? I can't see the graphic. Sorry.
I forget.
That's the Portland Thorns, isn't it?
Yes, it looks like it is.
Yeah, it's the
Indeed.
Portland
Yeah.
Thorns.
So Pride played Portland Thorns, and it looks like they won 1-0. So congratulations to them, and I believe they also clinched the playoff position at this point, if I'm not mistaken. Do we know where they are in the standings currently, by any chance?
I believe they moved up to fourth.
NWSL. Let me look it up quickly here. They are in third. They're actually in third, according to Google. They're currently in third place. They play 24 matches, have a total of 36 points, 10 losses. 10 wins, 6 draws, and 8 losses. So, congrats to them. Anything to add about the Pride, gentlemen?
They're in decent
they-
form at the moment, as I can see. They've lost one match in their last 5, so
I think they had a phenomenal season last year, obviously. So how
to
they're
repeat
playing right
that is a tough
yeah,
order.
to
Yeah.
repeat that, the likelihood of repeating that is, one in a million. But I think they're
It's
doing
a,
really well considering. And how are they doing as far as their the Shield race? Are they in contention for that? I wonder.
no.
That's the regular season. I think the
They're on 36,
yeah.
and bloody Kansas is on 62.
Okay, so they're probably out of that, which is unfortunate because I'm sure they wanted to be in contention for that at least. But nevertheless, still being in third place out of 14 teams is definitely an accomplishment.
It is.
At least in their division.
I think considering, they went the whole season and last season undefeated, you can definitely get a bit of a burnout.
Yeah.
And players definitely, when you're on the radar of invincibles,
Mhm. Yeah.
you can definitely not only invincibles but win the whole thing.
Yeah, that was
You can
amazing.
definitely go and lose players, and your season could break up. So
Yeah,
fair play to them for getting third this season. If not,
that's
I
a
don't think
that's
they're probably going to
a
finish
huge
third.
accomplishment.
I don't
Absolutely.
know how many matches are left in the season exactly. There's
Yeah.
5 or 6. So no,
Yeah,
there's a ton of there's a few matches left.
yeah. So that's definitely a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, they'll finish third or highest. So fair play to them, and good. If I was a Pride fan, which personally I don't watch the Pride, but if you are, I think you should be happy for this season, and considering the circumstances of sometimes your players can get burnt out. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They've shown they can perform. They've shown they have the consistency, at least, that we somewhat struggle for.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's all you can ask for. And I think that's really when we start talking about our team, about the Lions. It's like that's really the frustration. It's not so much where we are; it's how we got to that position and why we're there. But anyway, okay. Let me not go too much on a tangent. What else we want to chat about, gentlemen? Jaron Gerbet. Um, if The club has not made any official announcement, but just grumblings and social media posts online. The one comment I saw said something about an ACL. So I mean, the season's pretty much over anyway. The regular season, we have the playoffs ahead, but I think we saw the last of him that day as he was coming off the field. So we wish him well and hopefully a speedy recovery because we can use all the help that we can get. And it's really frustrating for to see that happen to someone like him or even Tsukada in early in their careers because it's just so unfortunate. You know, they have these moments and sometimes their time is limited on the pitch. So when something like that happens, it's just unfortunate.
I think it's definitely unfortunate in the sense that
Yeah.
he looked when we signed him, when we drafted him, he looked fantastic.
Yeah.
He looked like a guy who's compact, like kind of like a not really a flashy player to say the least.
Hmm.
Like just a guy that would get stuck in, do the parts that didn't really, that nobody really wanted to do, but can attack and defend. And I wouldn't say he's on the. We drafted him. He was at an older age. I wouldn't say he was young, but he was definitely at like he was getting there. But I really wish him a speedy recovery because I think he's a fantastic player. Like he's just
Yeah.
I
I
see
mean,
I see his confidence on the ball and I think, wow,
mhm.
I want him in my team. And I bet a lot of other teams in the MLB think about him as well and say, I want him in my team because that's just
Absolutely. I agree with you. And when I think back to it about his performance when we played Miami when he was on Messi, I mean, what his rookie season playing against Messi, playing against the pressure, the mental pressure against
yeah.
someone like that, and to be able to perform to that level, that says a lot about him and his abilities and how he can
Yeah, he's
contribute to
just.
the
I
team.
think he's a very confident player on the ball. He
Yeah.
always wants the ball, which is a
Hmm.
player you always want.
Yep.
You don't want a player who shies away.
Hmm.
And he's just. I don't know. I'm devastated over the fact he's gotten injured again. I
Yeah.
think he's a very useful player for us. I think we always need. I wouldn't say he was a creative midfield player, but I would say he's a compactful midfield player. He's an impact. He's somebody who'll get stuck in, do the job that nobody wants to do, and win that midfield. And hopefully he comes back stronger.
Yes. I
He
hope
was
so.
already injured before, but I hope he comes back stronger. He's
I
got
hope.
a long career ahead of him.
Yeah, and I
So
hope we get to see him the majority of next season if possible, because with those injuries, depending on the timeline, we don't know, the extent of it or the timeline for it. Maybe that's what the club is holding off on, but it would really be nice to kind of have an idea when we should expect to see him back in practice at least or warm-ups with the team. Anything else before we get to the match?
Oh yeah, I would like to talk about the newest news. The UFL's
Oh.
Orlando Storm,
Mm.
a American football team, is going to be playing out of our stadium from between March and June. Is a 10 game season with 5 home games. Obviously, people are up in arms about the pitch condition. The details. I actually watched the introduction press conference, so you don't have to. The commissioner of the league happens to live in Orlando. Definitely a guy that doesn't know anything about our sport. He's been to a couple of games, and one of the games was rain delayed, and he decided to name the Orlando team because of the storm. So
Was that the one where we had like the 3 hour rain delay?
yeah, that's the one. And
You know,
he
if that's
actually
not if that's not an omen to him,
hey, at least they can play. I mean, anybody can play in any condition. It's just the lightning that's a factor for us. So he was impressed by our fan base. He was impressed by the stadium. So he feels that Orlando can support a team like that. Personally, you have UCF sports A to Z. You have hockey. you have basketball. You may be dealing with NFL football if the Jacksonville Jaguars relocate to Orlando while they are having their stadium remodel. Also, there's talk about maybe the Rays coming to Orlando. So the I don't think our market can support so many professional teams. We have seen it with indoor soccer. I mean, you and I used to go to the Seawolves games all the time. I believe you had a suite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just gonna be very difficult. Personally, I think I think a lot of people are mad about it, but the team sees it as an opportunity to keep mingling in the sports market, making some money. You got to remember that the Wolves also own the Minnesota Vikings,
Yeah.
so the UFL wants that connection with them. As of right now, my understanding is all the clubs are owned by the league, so perhaps they want to come test the waters and perhaps have the Wolves purchase the team. And one of the things that I would like to add is our pitch is built to host American football and rugby games. Does that mean have Pride, Orlando City, and the Storm playing back to back, back to back, back to back, and having a perfect pitch? No, our pitch looked horrible this past weekend. And so, I'll leave it to you guys with your opinions. And quickly, it was Noche Latina, it was Latin night, and the club picked the countries with the most fans. So I have I guess you can barely see it here. So I got my Puerto Rico scarf, and so here with a flag and the badge and all that. The Puerto Rico national team is playing against Argentina in Miami. I took it up on myself to let the federation know that was very stupid of them. You come to Orlando, you fill out Inter and Co. But the problem is that Messi didn't want to travel. Originally, the game was going to be in Chicago, but he said, "I don't want to go there," and they had to reschedule. So once again, the prima donna comes out, um, and and that's that. So that's all I have, guys. I don't know what your opinion on us sharing the stadium with another sport.
Well, I mean, David, if you look at what the stadiums, what the field looks like, the pitch looks like, whatever you want to call it, after college football gets done with it, just that one game, and then they still have a month and a half after, or almost, oh no, I'm sorry, 2 months to get the field prepared for Orlando City, and it's still, the last 3 years, 2 years especially, we've on this show complained about the condition of the pitch, and that's with one game 2 months before, and now we're going to have it, simultaneously. Yeah, we get priority, and this, they say that the football lines aren't going to show through. I will believe that when I see that. The fact, if the Storm plays in one rain game, that pitch will be done for the entire year. Period. I mean, and this is coming from somebody that played both soccer and American football. The damage that American football does to a field is, I don't think a lot of people are comprehending it. Especially, yeah, they say that it's made for that, but when you look at, again, how it looks in January after the college team gets done with it, it's really not. One, American football uses a different type of grass, different cut of grass, all of that. Two, there's a reason the NFL went with artificial turf rather than grass, and that's because artificial turf started getting grass started getting too expensive to do. Plus, the average weight of a soccer player is 160 to 170 pounds. The average weight of a professional football player is 250 pounds. The heaviest of which are pushing against each other, creating at least 1,200 pounds of force each. You never get that in soccer. So literally the middle 10 to 15 yards of the pitch will be might as well be a pigsty because it'll just be tore up. I think it's a terrible idea. I think it's just a money grab idea for the Wilfs. There's no reason why the Storm couldn't go down the road to the Citrus Bowl that's made for American football. That's a turf field that 90% of professional football fields are now. And the Wilfs are just going to do what they always do and pocket the money. Cool, they're going after Rick Carlson. Did they sign him? Not yet. No. They're just going to pocket the money. They don't care about us winning trophies. They don't care about putting an exciting product on the field like they said. They said for the last 5 years they're going to develop the area around the stadium. They haven't done it. You know, when is it going to be time for us to ask for to when is it going to be time for the fans and supporters to make the Wolves sell the team? Because they obviously don't care. They just care about lining their pockets with money.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a money grab. It's all about the money. Um, I ran into a friend of mine at the match on Saturday. A casual fan, great friend, consider him a brother, and he was talking to me. We were talking about just that. He's like, "That's going to be great. The stadium's going to be packed," and that's what they're counting on. They're counting on the casual fans, the fans that show up. They're watching a sport. If it's soccer, if it's football, if it's rugby, they, they're not supporting the specific sport. They're just watching sporting, right? Nothing, no offense to any of them, but we are a different crowd in that sense. So to me, this is a money grab in every way you can imagine it. Um, and they're very smart because if you're a season ticket member, you already renewed your tickets. Because I can guarantee you, if I was in a different situation right now, I would not be renewing my tickets because that's not what I support. And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going to take half of that extra money and they're going to use it to upkeep the pitch. I buy a bridge in the Everglades before I believe that. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen, and they're all about the money. Because the two things that came up when I was talking to my friend, that and guess what? The news about Rich Charlson, right? But that's another money grab. If you bring him here, we were talking about this earlier, and we'll get into it a little bit later. If you bring him here, why are they bringing him here? Because every seat for like at least the first half of the season is gonna be packed, right? It's and every other jersey is gonna be a Brazil jersey or it's gonna be a new Richarlison Orlando City jersey, right? It's all about the money, which I hate, but that's probably part of what has to happen in order for us to grow it. But certain times we have to draw the line to what we're willing to do. So it's like playing a game like this on like a Real Madrid field. The fans are whatever.
Burn the stadium down.
Basically, right? You can't do that. But to Luke's point, we're not there yet as a country with the fans and the sport. We're not gonna have fans are not gonna walk out because of what's happening because half of them are gonna come back and watch.
Well, and on that
Sorry,
note, and that
sorry.
too,
Because of that,
how
if
many of the people that show up for the Storm games then aren't going to show up for the Orlando City games?
I don't know, but
Because it
when
wouldn't surprise me. Think about how our schedule is. It's every other week we have a home match. So that means on the week that Orlando City's away, they're going to have the Storm here playing, and most people aren't going to go to a sporting event every single weekend.
yeah,
So how many fans is that going to take away? All of a sudden, do we go from having 20,000 in attendance to 15, 10, because those people are now watching American football? Because Americans are more likely to go watch that than they are soccer.
yep. I just saw something that I want to share. Hold on, because I had the Instagram up because I wanted to launch our live, and there's a post by the UFL Storm Surge and Inter and Co Stadium and somebody else. And let me see if I can get a picture of this and share it. But can
What were you
continue.
going to say, Luke? While Ahmed gets that.
I forgot what I was going to say, but a little bit on that. Yes, there's so many things I want to say.
Then say it. That's what we're here for.
Can we just sack the board already? Like, like sack the entire board. Like, if this is what if this is what we're like going towards, and this is the direction that we're going to, like you lot said it. We've got an American football stadium that just never gets bloody used apart from concerts, and even then they use the Amway. Just use that. Why are they using our bloody stadium? Like, go somewhere. I know it's money. That
Yeah, I
no,
know.
it's not a contestant. I know the
I'm sorry,
we know
man.
the reason why, but they're multi-billionaires. The owners are multi-billionaires.
You know what
Like,
people with money want? More money.
exactly, more
More
money, but
money.
they're not going to bloody spend it on the team or spend it on whatever, and it's
Yeah.
just ridiculous. At this point, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Um,
to answer that, look, not to interrupt you, the reason is the league understands that they cannot fill a regular stadium, so they want to go after MLS stadiums slash USL.
yeah,
Because the teams that are coming into the league is us, Louisville, and Columbus, but Columbus is going to be using their older stadium,
yeah.
which their B
Well, I
team
know
plays.
that. I know that. It's just evident though. It's just ridiculous. It's like we're struggling as a club as it is, and we're like we're not even getting the half the funding that we should be getting into this bloody team, and they're too worried about a UFL team that just is just in my perspective, it's just a folly league when it comes to whatever. I know it's a serious league. It's up and coming. Blah blah blah, but take it somewhere else.
Yeah,
Like, and you
absolutely.
nailed it as well. They said the Jaguars are going to come here in the Citrus Bowl because they're getting. I don't know what's going on, but I've heard about that. And like, we're going to have two American football teams, one ruining our pitch that we're paying for, and another one that's in the Citrus Bowl. And next thing you know, what we're going to do? And it's just, I'm going to be honest, it's just ridiculous. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace that we've got these owners and we've got all this money, supposedly, like billionaires, and they're not spending it on the team. They're spending it on theme nights and, you know, bloody kids' night out and everything around the game apart from the team. You could take your theme nights and go wherever you want with them. Give me a winning team. Give me a team that'll win a league because we've got such rich owners that could put so much money into this team. And there's other teams in this league that's got half the amount of money that we do, and yet they're doing so much more than us.
And
It's
don't forget, Luke, these are owners that when they came in promised to win trophies,
Yeah, to win
plural,
trophies.
and
What
bring
trophies
exciting
have we
soccer to
won?
the fans.
Yeah, promise to win trophies, promise to win championships or whatever. And like, where's the results? At this rate, we're sitting here at this time hoping to get into a playoff spot because we might get into the playing game. This is where we're sitting now, and we were promised trophies.
Yeah.
I know it takes a while to probably build something, but if you want to win trophies, first look at our manager who's playing these tactics at home. We're going to get into that, of
Yeah.
course, when we soon. But you play these tactics. You don't do stupid stuff like this is beyond what are my superstitions and whatever. But you play all this stuff and you do all these things, and you say you're going to do something, win trophies, and then look what you do. Look what you materialize. Nothing's materialized.
Nope. And it's not going to.
Nothing.
It's not
Nothing.
going to. And it won't. So
And it
this is
won't, because you know why? Because if anything, this should show not, oh yes, we've got a USL team, big whoop, or UFL, sorry, UFL team, big whoop. Like, you should be thinking, well, where's their priorities at now?
yeah.
Where's their priorities at? We're bringing another team into our stadium. Where's our priorities at?
Yeah,
And that's what you should be looking at, not the fact that we've got a UFL team. We're looking at the fact of, oh, it's another team ruining our pitch.
absolutely. And to John's point, John was talking about the fans and the matches, and this is the post that I just saw on Instagram over here. It was posted by the Storm Surge, and it basically well, I'll read it out to you this way. If you're listening to the podcast, you hear it's posted by the Storm Surge. It says currently Orlando City Soccer Club has one of the, if not the best fan bases. The Wall is Orlando's heart and soul of the city. They are loud, rowdy, and really show what Orlando brings to the table. With the recent announcement of the Orlando Storm of the UFL, pro football is back in Orlando. This time, we want to show how Orlando is the best sports city. We want to bring a rowdy fan section to Inter and Coast Stadium. We are going to create the Storm's very own fan section, the Storm Surge. We want Orlando to pack the games and pack this section out. We want to have the best attendance in the league. We want other teams to fear to play us. Let's make it happen. We want the Storm fans to rock Inter and Coast Stadium every game day. Who does that? Because you know what that's doing? They're up reaching out to the Orlando City
Yeah,
fans. John, to your point, right? To
yeah,
your point, it's like they're trying to piggyback off of what we created to
yeah.
help
It's
build that
almost
stadium.
like
That's
you're trying
smart.
to grasp onto something that's
Well,
not
that's what
there.
it all is. Like I said it a little bit in our group text, but they're 100, in my opinion, they're 100% trying to take over and get soccer out of the United States. The worst enemy to American football, to any sport in the United States right now, because it is the fastest growing new sport in America, is soccer.
Yeah,
So you look at how, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up and I played 1 year of football when I was a kid and then played 1 year in high school after soccer, but I played a lot of soccer between that. And when I played American football, it was always harping on the soccer players and saying how, it's not a real sport, this, that, and the other, and all. And I'm like, okay. And you still see it, you still hear it, and maybe I don't know. Luke's much younger than us, but I don't know if it still happens with your friends, Luke, that have never, if you have any, that have never watched soccer.
yeah.
I
I
just know the type
understand
of
what you
people
mean.
that you hang, the general type of people you hang around with. But like my friends that never watched, never played, or even cared to understand the sport of soccer, hate soccer.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a girl sport. All this, that, and the other. Every excuse they make, and it's like, to me, when I see somebody doing this, coming and intruding on our stadium, the club stadium, that was, you know, the club would not be in the position it's in right now if it wasn't for the fans.
Absolutely.
If
And
it
that's
wasn't
what
for
they're
the
trying to
fans
do
in
here.
2013 and 2014, the MLS would have never came to Orlando. They would have went somewhere else, and the club would probably be defunct by now because of all the changes that have happened in the USL and everything over the last 11, 12 years. But so for the owners to do this, already owning an American football team, and then bringing this sideshow of an American football league, that's what it is. It's a sideshow. There's a reason why springtime football leagues have never worked out in the past. It just doesn't work out, you know. But they're trying to get the fans to go from soccer to football, so then when Jacksonville comes in a year or two, it's a much easier transition to start going to Jaguars games. And then all of a sudden they have a case to go, well, look, we packed the stadium 70 people every Sunday. Why don't we have a team? And the next thing you know, Orlando has an NFL team and a UFL team. And, you know, what's that leave Orlando City? The scraps. Because again, the casual fan of any of the sports in the United States is more likely to go to an American football game than they are a soccer game
Yeah.
right now.
I'm honestly, you know what? I was surprised when I was talking to my friend. I'm surprised that they haven't said anything to the people renewing their season tickets to entice them by giving them something with regards to the UFL season tickets. Because that would have been the icing on the cake for me. You know what I mean? Like either giving them first dibs, or, just doing something like that would really. That's probably why they didn't do it, because they would have just totally pissed off a whole bunch of people. But
Well, and I
I'm.
also think that's why they didn't. I was fully expecting them to say something at the match on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
before the game or at halftime.
I mean, they were giving out shirts and stuff. I saw. I got there with just enough time to make it to my seat.
Oh, I didn't see any shirts, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know
They
what
were giving
they're saying.
out like this white shirt. They look very generic. But no, John, you nailed it. Is it a Trojan horse? Perhaps. Personally, years ago I was very into the NFL, and with Orlando City, that fandom has been strictly to football. I already follow three teams as is. I really don't have time for NFL. I will watch the playoffs, and if the Buccaneers are playing, I'll watch them. But really, the regular season, it means nothing to me. What they're trying to go for is what you already see at Solar Bears games, where Orlando City fans act as a supporter group would, and it's out of place, but it's where a lot of people go to get their sports fix. It's $10, $13, $14 for a Solar Bears game. It's the closest thing to football that you can find, and it's a lot of fun. I always had a blast every time I go. So they already see that the Orlando City fan base migrates. I take my youngest son is big into basketball, so uh, NBA is super expensive, and I'm here to tell you I can't do multiple games, let alone be a season ticket holder. So we picked the one game out of the year that speaks to us, which is the Jewish Heritage Night that usually is played on the week of Hanukkah. We go and we howl at the moon, and we light the menorah, and we
Real
meet.
quick, David, not to interrupt you,
Yeah,
but
go ahead, brother.
if you want to see decent basketball, you should go to Kissimmee and see the G
The
League.
Magic.
Right. Yeah, yeah. My son and
That's
I
much
have this.
that's much cheaper, much more
Yes, the
affordable than
Osceola.
going to the Magic.
We're gonna
Yeah.
start doing that. Thank you, John. We're definitely gonna start doing that, and it's something that we were planning to do with our friend Tom. Obviously, that will have to wait till next year, but definitely something to put in the in the front burner. But I can't blame them. They want to. They think that a sports fan is a sports fan, and they can go after that market. God bless them. I'll support. I'll go to catch a game out of curiosity. Yes, unlike soccer slash football, I never play that sport. So I play American football. I play baseball, basketball. And I know a thing or two about having full pad football in the heat. Obviously, we played in the winter, in the winter, making air quotes, in the Caribbean, and it was we ran out of fat guys. We ran out of fat guys at the end of the season. I mean, I was a defensive tackle, for the love of God. I was like 120 pounds soaking wet. So it's really tough. So
I mean,
I,
the
I
college teams do it. I mean, you got to think here in the South, most still pretty hot. As hot, almost as hot as June is anyway.
yeah, yeah, no kidding, brother.
But no, I mean, I don't pity. I don't. I pity everybody. The one year I played in high school, Cincinnati had a record of X amount of days with a high temperature over 90 or 95 degrees at the time,
I
and
would have
we
taken
had
95 degrees.
we what's that?
I would have taken 95 degrees, brother. Puerto Rico in January is like 95. We'll have
Oh,
a
I
lot
know,
of humidity. It's the
but
Caribbean.
it's but since see Cincinnati gets just as not just as gets humid like here, in the summer when they do get warm, it can be humid, and I mean, I've never been hotter. Like I pushed myself so hard through it that I was grossly malnourished is the wrong word, but basically I didn't have enough nutrients in my body, and I was just bruising easily, and went to the doctor about something else, and basically was put on a very strict regimen of basically emergency two or three times a day to get my electrolytes back into me because I was working full time at a golf course doing the maintenance and playing football in the in the summer and one of the hottest summers in Cincinnati. And um, but I don't pity anybody. But and then the thing is too, the only way that I can calm down is I firmly believe that by 2040 that um, American football will be virtually unrecognizable because of all the science behind the concussions and everything, the safety issues that are there. And I really don't think that it's going to be something that's going to be sustainable for in the
I
grand scheme
played
of
it, my
things too
friend.
much
I wouldn't let
longer.
my kids do it. My kids never played any sort of contact football, pee wee flag. I had a really hard time, and a lot of the guys that I played with were unable to join the service because of their injuries. And when I was in Navy boot camp, there was a lot of guys that unfortunately had to drop out. Former American football players. You know what it is. It is insane. You're 17, 18 years old already. Shoulder surgeries, clavicle surgery. I mean, it's insanity.
That's me. I partially dislocated my shoulder. Luckily, I didn't have to have surgery.
Dude, I
My
got my
brother,
bell
Ooh.
wrong so many times, and first time I admit this to anybody, the only reason why I kept going was because I felt, oh, my parents spent all this money buying all this gear. I can't let it go to waste, which was it was dumb. So, as far as by the way, it's $50 if you want to put a down payment on season tickets. We're not gonna talk trash about it. We're just personally, I think is a bad business deal for our pitch. And are they gonna grab a sizable portion of our fan base to go to the games? Probably, but like John has said, every league has failed. The first time that this is done, Orlando City broke the mold as far as teams surviving, because we have been the graveside of so many sports, so many leagues, so many teams. Um, if you guys don't have anything else, I guess we can go to talk about the game Saturday.
All right.
I just have one thing to say.
Say
Just don't do it,
it.
please. At all costs.
Oh my
Like,
Let's
gosh.
just don't.
go.
Like,
It's too late,
there's
bro.
no benefits for us, you know, for the club, for the stadium. There's no benefits to it. Just don't. It's like it's a waste of everyone's time. Like again, John said it. It's not sustainable. It's not, and like American football is on, like when it comes to, I'm living proof of it. I go around. There are more football pitches, our football pitches, being built around areas of the country than there is American football. There's now football goals on American football pitches, which shows the growth of the game, and which shows that there's so many more kids interested in youth sports because it's safer. It's safer for people. It's safer to play. David, I know you played it and you explained your experience playing it and like other people's experience, which is awful. I don't wish anybody should go through that. And like it is a dangerous sport. It's a serious sport. Just don't do it. There's no benefits for it apart from the money. And we don't need the money because they're billionaires. The only reason they want to shovel out this money is because, of course, you lot said it, extra money in the pockets.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, sack the board. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. But just,
it's getting there, Luke. It's honestly,
it is getting to that point. I joke about it, but it is getting to that point where what's next? Are we going to put a hockey rink in the middle of Orlando City Stadium?
An
Because the
outdoor
Solar
hockey
Bears.
rink. That would be amazing.
we're gonna have the what do they call it? The
The fake
well,
ice.
they do that up north for certain hockey games.
Yeah, we're gonna put a giant ice rink inside of Inter and Co Stadium. Exploria. God,
I call it Orlando City Stadium.
it's Orlando City Stadium, but you know.
Yeah.
But you're gonna put a giant ice ring in there, and next thing you know, we get the solar bears playing in there. You know, it's not
The
far
solar
fetched when it
bears.
comes to these
That'd be-
owners because it's just ridiculous.
I think I played to see the solar bears before I'd see the UFL game.
Yep.
Playing outside, that would be
Have,
I just
fun.
have
have
either
no
have any
interest.
of you guys,
It's just
Luke? I know
there's
you
no
didn't.
interest.
Have either of you guys seen a UFL game?
I
No.
haven't. No.
So I know it's a little bit different, but I watched it. I think it was last year because it's basically, from what I understand, it's basically the XFL merging with the league that started a couple years ago, and then they played like 4 games, and then they couldn't pay the players. Orlando had a team that played out at UCF. It's terrible. It's terrible American football. I mean, these guys, they're more skilled than I am, but if you watch, even the
Is it?
small Division 1 college is more entertaining than what they put on the field.
That's unfortunate because it's like they're like grasping for things to do.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah,
That's
it's
that's
like
what it
you're
feels
almost
like. Not having
grasping at
seen it
things.
at all, I don't know that much about it, but that's what it feels like when you hear that,
Yeah,
right?
you have like 1 or 2 players in the league that dominate the league, and they'll get an NFL contract for that next season. Or a training camp invite. Maybe they'll make the team. Maybe they won't. For the NFL, but that's about as exciting as it gets. Very little parity in it from what I saw, and it's not a fun watch.
I'll tell you what, the only thing I know about the UFL is there's this YouTube guy that failed to get into the NFL and created a YouTube channel, and now he's in the UFL. That's the only thing I
He
know
went to
about.
UCF. I forget his name, but yeah, he went
Yeah,
to UCF, and
he was at UCF.
before NIL, he was basically NCAA gave him an option to stop his YouTube channel, or if he doesn't stop his YouTube channel, then he's suspended from playing. And the saddest part is he's a very good kicker too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's that I was talking about that same guy. He was at UCF, wasn't he?
Yeah,
And then and now he plays in the U. I think he don't. I don't think he still does, I don't know a lot about it. But he got an offer from the UFL to play. But that's the only thing I kind of know about the league. I don't know a lot about it, so that's all we need to know, right? Is not a lot of us know a lot about it. So why is it in our city? Why is it in our city?
Take it down to Miami.
There you go.
or
take it
Tampa.
down to
Tampa needs sports teams.
take it down to their new stadium down there. What are they building? What are they building down in Miami? Oh, you know why? Because they don't have any fans.
Can we swap it? Can we
Sorry.
do a swap? Can we put him in Jacksonville?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, all right. Listen, we could talk about this forever. So let's move on. Let's move on. We've beat it to oblivion right now. Let's move on to the fun that we had this past Saturday at Interenco Stadium. We welcomed the Vancouver Whitecaps to our home. We had an amazing match. We had some great plays. We came out strong. We scored in the 24th minute. Um, and that was about it.
And Ahmed has $100 million she's passing out to everybody tonight.
We played an awesome game. When I saw a score that goal, I was like, "That's it. We're headed to the top of the standings." Um, Obviously not, because honestly, when I saw a score that goal, um, I was sitting there in my section, everybody was cheering, and I was just looking around like, "Why are you guys all excited?" Because lately, this is what happens: we score early, and then crickets. And that's exactly what happened. We had some unfortunate situations with Robin that we'll get into, but we tried to hold on to a 1 goal lead, right? Playing against they're second in the West?
Top team in the West.
Well, now they're top, right? But they were second, I think, at the time.
I think they were second because they had less wins or something.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Anyway,
either
so
way, one
playing
of
a
the
team
top
that's
two
in like the
teams in the
top
West.
three teams in the West, then you can argue, okay, the West isn't as competitive. They're still the top in that side. And how do we play against them? We play against them the same way we've been playing for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, six matches that we've only won one of, right? You can't play like that against a team like that's second in their side or third in their side or even in the top four and expect to come away with a win. You know why? Because when
That
we were playing well, you couldn't play like that against us, right? Because we used to come back in the end. You have to put it away from the beginning so there's no doubt, so that people aren't saying, oh, the ref this, the ref that. And that's exactly what we did. We scored one goal, and then we were like, all right, let's call it a day and just try to hold on to the lead. And guess what? We paid for it at the end.
Yeah, the ref had nothing to do with the
No, I
result.
know. Yeah.
I would like to remind people that Vancouver has been playing great football. At one point, they were a contender for the Supporter Shield. They're first in the West. And before I go into my thoughts here, I posted on Facebook stating, uh, remind your friends that a playing game is not playoffs, especially if we lose it, right? It's not playoffs. If we end up in the play-in and we lose, we did not make playoffs this year. I don't care that we posted a clinch and all that nonsense. The season's a failure as is. So this gentleman by the name of Kenneth Allen posted the following, which I find very, very insightful. He says, we lost all the easiest games this season. We lost tempers on games, got red cards, and took L's on games that were won. Every game the opposition was down, every game that the opposition was down a man or on a red card, we could not score a goal to save our life. The team is very inconsistent to say the least. Look forward to next season. There will be some big changes. And I agree with that. In fact, last week I was reading one of the comments where this person was telling me, to shut up or whatever. And on Facebook, I made a comment. I say, hey, we had 39% possession in the second half. I've been told that stats are for American football, but guess what? Stats also tell a story in soccer, in football. If you don't have the ball, how can you score? Please explain that to me. If you don't have the ball, you can't score. And we have a situation in which people are like, oh, well, the ref did this. The ref did not do anything. First of all, the goal that we conceded is the same goal that Kyle Smith conceded a few weeks back. I can't remember the opponent, but I believe we ended up losing that game in the same matter. He bounces the ball out on Schlegel and goes in. In this case, he tries to do a sweeping kick, does not look to see who's behind him, and the ball hits on a Vancouver player. Boom, balls goes in. Now we are even. And if you are been an Orlando City fan for a long time, you understand that we cannot save 1-0 results if our life depended on it, if the moons lined up, if the stars, the planets. And the second goal, simple. They were reviewing what should have been a goal. Okay, so this is just
Absolutely.
it's just the universe rewarding Vancouver for the ineptitude of our VAR. That for the you guys remember, I said, hey, our ounce of luck just kicked in because John said that goal went in, and if John is saying that, it's because it happened. Because
Yeah.
John gives the our opposition nothing, nothing ever. And to finish, then we let Mueller, man, that yes, he's old, whatever you want to say, he
He's
is old.
class.
He's quality, and he was allowed to shoot from the top of the box, on top of the D, on a pose. Who
Mhm.
was at fault? Smith and DDT. Shame to say that DDT was involved in this nonsense.
Yeah.
Ball just goes in. End of the story. At the end of the game, I think we have maybe 30 seconds after that, and game over.
Yeah.
I personally went in there thinking we were gonna lose because we were with our C team,
Mhm.
and on top of all this, my good friends, a tie would have been a great result. Now this is the scenario that we're facing. If we happen to lose at Toronto, which is possible, it's a 50-50 with the team that we're having right now. If we go and lose or tie those sons of guns who are playing for nothing,
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna end up in the playing game, in the wild card game, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
That is not playoffs because that will mean that we'll have to play on Wednesday, win, and then play the first team on Saturday. All this quite possibly away because we don't know if we're gonna. There's a good possibility we may end up ninth. Okay, for those of screaming, "Oh, we may play 6 years in a row," we haven't yet. We have not. It's not a secure thing.
Yeah.
1 to 7 is for sure playoffs. 8 and 9 is a maybe. So I hope that people understand that. I personally am furious at the fact that when Robin Jansen went down, we didn't play Williams. If we're not gonna play this young man, then when are we gonna play him?
Why
So
do we play Duncan at that time? Like, why? In what mind? And to the casual fan, it sounds great. Okay, our captain went down. We're bringing in an attacker. We're really having that attacking mindset. You're leaving yourself wide open in the back.
Well, can I add to this, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this
yeah,
is where they might criticize us
yeah.
because we say, "Oh, Pereira," you say all the time, Pereira needs to play a more attacking style of play. Blah blah blah. He brought on an attacking player. You should be happy. No, it's not that. It's not the fact. He's brought on an attacking player when he doesn't need to. He's brought on. He's trying to play an attacking style of play that doesn't work. You know, in that game, we were susceptible in the back. Our bloody top centre back went down. The only sensible thing, in common sense, if you play grassroots football,
To bring in another
you
defender.
play you're injured centre back. You bring in a centre back, and then he brings in a striker. So make
Uh,
sense to me how that's the common denominator of your mind. If that's your footballing mindset, if that's your footballing philosophy, you need a bit of a reevaluation. I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah. You know what the one of the most frustrating things though, like going back to David's point, is like at the end of the match, we had those 5 minutes of extra time before they scored, and it was still tied. And I said to my wife and to my son, I'm like, watch, we're gonna spend the next 5 minutes defending. And you know what we did? We spent the next 5 minutes defending, and that's how they were able to score that goal.
just like the week before, I mean, just like the week before.
Can
Listen,
we
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Luke.
can we give the viewers some homework? Go back throughout this season, look at the times we've scored and look at the times we've lost. Most of the time that we lose, right? Most of the time we score first, and it's because our manager tactically sits back and we only lose the game. We only start playing when we're in that mindset of, oh, we need a goal because we're playing back, or oh, we're playing defensive and sit back after we score a goal. That's the times when we lose these games. You look back throughout the season, and there's so many games that we should be third or fourth because of the fact that we've played this style of
In
play.
fact,
Not
Luke.
one time this season, not twice, nearly every freaking game.
In fact, Luke.
Every game.
If we score in the first 20 minutes, chances are we are not getting a result. We're not getting a win.
And if you
Um,
can't see that, right, then you're blind to it.
mhm.
And I
You
don't
know,
know what to say to you.
no, no, for sure. I personally listen. I what hurts me the most is we had the stadium. The official was 23,000. Obviously, probably a little less, but and either way, it was a nice crowd that was super energized, super in tune, cheering for their team. And when I was leaving, because the ball went in, and I'm like, "That's it, see you guys next year." Because I don't think that we're gonna have another home game. And if we do, it's probably gonna be during the week, and I won't be able to attend. And as I was walking out, I was hearing conversations here and there. Our fan base is very smart, very, very, very smart, and people were saying the things that we say here day in day out. But to the happy clappers and the cornhole tailgate champions, it's easy to hate on David Valentin. There's people in the fan base that don't like me. That the, just throw so much hate at me because it's easy to grab the Puerto Rican dude with the microphone versus their friend that is having honest conversation with his wife or friend or kids on the way to the car. The fan base wants something different. We have, the definition of insanity for the 500 billionth time is to try to the same things expecting different results. I have to say this: the challenge has been thrown at Ricardo on social media. I'm gonna be honest with you. The result was disastrous. On then after that, with our friends from Orlando Lions, then on X, on Facebook, I have seen the most sane, respectful disagreements from fans in all my time following Orlando City, because we have already learned that fighting against each other achieves nothing. The people that like to insult and you just block and you just mute. My life is much better since I started doing that. And the point is that people have placed the challenge in Ricardo Moreira's lap, and I don't. We don't have to hide it. Ricardo has been a friend of all podcasters. He talks to us when he sees us. He's a nice guy. He has a vision. He loves the club. He loves football, and I don't want to be in his shoes because the challenge is there. People are saying, "Okay, Ricardo, you see what we have. Go make it happen." We have a ton of players that are definitely not gonna be in purple next year, and it's an opportunity to challenge. Do we need a different vision from Oscar, or do we have, or is the problem that Oscar doesn't have the players to enact his vision? That I
Hey,
look up to the board, and I finish with this, my friends. The fact of the matter is it was a disastrous night. You cannot reward the fans. Okay, you had nights where you are celebrating the diversity of the club, celebrating the love of the fans for the club, and instead of getting wins, you are giving them disastrous results. And like I said, God forbid, if we end up being out of the playoffs this next weekend or Wednesday, whenever that it is an indictment on the club because we should have never been in this position. I know a lot of people want to blame the Leagues Cup, and a lot of people no, 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 because my overseas teams play 4 and 5 different trophies every year, and we managed to get the results that we needed. So it's not an excuse. These are professional football players. You could say, "Oh, we had a ton of injuries." I'll give you that, but at the end of the day, these are professional football players. They get paid to play a game. And I'm gonna say this, the 4 men that you see on your screen and Misael that is missing, we all have jobs where we are expected to bring results. If I don't bring results to my employer, I'm gonna find myself unemployed. Therefore, if the people that get paid to play and manage our games don't get results, they have to be measured with the same stick. We can't say, "Well, I took a picture with him at a Metro PCS. He called me buddy. I follow him on Instagram. I like his kids' pictures. We're best friends. I don't want him to lose his job." That's not it, friends. We cannot be with this attitude where we fall in love with people. I personally don't care who's our manager, and I personally don't care who puts on the uniform on Saturday as long as they win. Plain and simple. That's what I pay for. Wins, fun, entertainment. Managers and players come and go. The supporter remains.
I'm gonna start with the only two positives from Saturday. First one, the number one thing is I love when they have them. I love the mariachi band. Best national anthem, best halftime
100%.
entertainment they have all season. I mean, grade A, like can't beat it. Just incredible.
I missed the game, and I wish I saw it.
Yeah, no, incredible. Um, the second highlight was the one goal we did have was textbook how you're supposed to run, or one of the ways you counterattack is supposed to be ran. beautiful quick passing up the field, get out and run, 3 players, staggered runs, get somebody one on one with the keeper and put it in the back of the net, and that's what they did. Um, I feel for Robin. He's been a warrior for the badge. Um, I hope it's not that serious. I haven't seen any news on him. Usually that comes out on Tuesday or Wednesday. But if it is serious, I would not surprise me if we've seen, the last time he wears the purple shirt. Would not surprise me. He's getting up there in age. He still in the off season goes back home. Um, and it's sad to say that he had to go out like that and was never able to lift a trophy. Thinking about his time here, people want to give credit to Poppy and what all he's done, and he's done well for the club. He's got us to a level we weren't at 6 years ago. But you also look at who we brought in 6.5 years ago. We brought in Nani and we brought in Robin Janssen. Remember how terrible our defense was before we
He's the
brought?
greatest captain we've ever had.
Yes. Remember
Let's
how
put
we
that
brought
out.
him in and he transformed our defense, transformed it virtually. Not, he's one player, but you could see a difference one match to the next from when we didn't have him to when we had him.
Well, yeah.
And the fact, they already touched on it, the fact that we go drop a center back, lose a center back in a match, and we have, in all of our opinions, a very capable replacement for him, a like for like left footed left center back replacement on the bench, who, for whatever reason, we haven't played at all this year. The last match he played in, I believe, was the friendly, if you want to call it that, because of how hard the match was played, against the Brazilian club in preseason. That's the last minutes he's gotten on the senior team.
John, did Williams play against Rowdies?
No,
He did not. Oh wow.
no, I don't. That's something I would remember, David, and I do not remember that he started. Do you remember, Luke? Because you were there with me. I don't think he did.
I
Did
was
he?
just going to search it up now, to be honest.
Okay, but either way, you have a guy that came up in the academy, made his senior team debut at 17 years old, and made one or two other, appearances in the regular season or in the cup competition, and that's it. And now you're stringing this guy along. Whatever's being said behind closed doors is being said, but you're setting the stage for. We want to talk about how great our academy is and the players coming out of our academy. If I'm an academy player that's 15, 16 years old that's thinking, do I want to go play for Orlando City B and continue my career with Orlando City, or do I want to go give it a shot with one of these USL teams and get senior team minutes in a couple years and potentially advance from there, or go with Orlando City B and become another Thomas Williams? Yes, he's only 21 years old, but the dude has had a homegrown contract since I believe he was 17 years old, and they just keep stringing him along. I think of the guy the old cartoon, the guy in the back of the cart with the carrot leading the donkey. That's kind of what I feel like they're doing with Thomas Williams, and that's not calling him a donkey. Don't trust me. That's not calling him a donkey. I literally I thought, okay, Robin's down, Thomas is coming in. Feel bad for Robin, awesome for Thomas. Chance for him to prove himself today and next week against Toronto. And then when I see a white dude round the corner, and then I look a little closer and realize it's Duncan McGuire, I'm like, what are we doing? There is no way he's dropping Kyle Smith back in the center back. And that's what he did. And this isn't anything against Kyle Smith in any means. Kyle Smith is a very serviceable substitute,
In an
emergency.
emergency. Not now, you know.
Not when you're in a virtual must-win game. And if we're going to hit the mark of what our GM placed for us this year and finishing in top four, it was a must-win game because top four is now out the window. Um, so we, so you put Kyle Smith back there. Kyle Smith didn't have a bad game either. I'm not, he had a Kyle Smith game. Didn't do anything great. Didn't do anything. Almost did something terribly wrong, but luckily the bar got in the way. The crossbar got in the way. And then you bring Duncan on, and yes, we don't score that goal if Duncan's not in there, but you do that, and then you score the goal, and you sit back and you give the opposing team in your own house 69% of the possession. 69% of the possession. That's like you having a party and a rival coming over and eating 69% of your food that you made for everybody.
That's amazing. That's the best analogy I've ever heard.
You have that neighbor who, you and him compete with your yard during the summer, during Christmas, you guys compete with each other in decorations, and he comes wandering over, he's half drunk and shirtless and takes three-quarters of your food for his own family, and you have 22 other people to feed. That's what Orlando City has let every team we've played at home since August 23rd do. I looked it up. I did some research for this one because I was fired up for it. Since August 23rd, including the match against Nashville, this is all competitions. We have 9 goals for, 9 goals against. Our average possession is 44%. 44%. And we have a -8 goal differential. People want to say we don't have consistency. To me, 8 matches. Now it's all competition. There's 2 Leagues Cup matches in there, but all competitions, 8 matches. That's not inconsistent. That's a trend, in my
Um,
opinion.
so
Consistently
Tom,
bad, yeah.
I just wanted to know. You brought up the Rowdies game was whether Thomas Williams was playing or not. He wasn't
My
even in.
dad commented on it. Said 1 game, 10 minutes in 2025.
So
Yeah,
so he did play in that game.
he didn't even play.
He did not.
No, he wasn't even in the squad.
Wow.
Wow,
He
listen,
wasn't
I'm
even.
gonna share
And
something with you.
the funny thing is about this is guess who was playing at centre back?
Kyle Smith.
Kyle
Yeah,
Smith.
Kyle Smith was playing at centre back. What are we doing?
Listen, I'm gonna
What
tell
are
you
we
this.
doing?
Not an attack on Kyle Smith. I
No,
think
it's
I
not.
met him
Right,
No,
personally.
this
Kyle
is an
Smith
attack
is
on what is our coaching staff
yeah.
doing,
Right.
This is not
and,
an
and
attack
playing
on
a
any
player.
individual players,
Thomas
by the
Williams
way.
was on the youth national teams. This isn't just some player from the academy that we love because he's from an academy, and he's an amazing human. His family,
Right.
everything. This is a bona fide player that has the resume, or to Luke's people, CV,
Yeah.
that backs it up. The dude played on youth national teams. The guy's been in OCB for ever. He's our first
U17
homegrown player.
champion.
What's that?
U17 champion, by the way.
Yeah. So I
With the
mean, the
academy.
dude,
Look
the
at
dude has the resume to back up that he's he deserves the shot. But we keep
Listen,
putting.
I'm gonna share something with you guys.
look at him, right? And you look at this, and this is what you have to think: is he's not an awkward player. He's not. He's not an awkward player. He's bloody massive, right? He's 6'4". He's not overly tall, but he's not overly small. He's ironically the perfect height for a centre back. Like I would want a
That's
six
his
foot.
natural position.
I would want him in my bloody team. He's good with his feet. He's pretty decent. I've seen him play for OCB so many times. I think everyone has who's been on OCB for that long.
Listen,
Like,
I fell in love with this player when I started catching some of the highlights for the academy. He gets signed up. I fell in love with the story of him leaving Titusville to go train in Sanford, where our academy was at the time, doing his homework on the way there. I used to do like these little YouTube videos about news of the club. I decided to dedicate one of them to Thomas Williams. The values of the family. I just thought, hey, if we are going to nail something on the wall and hang our colors on it, it's that's Thomas Williams. He's the nail. So I had the opportunity to meet him the first time. I was leaving the stadium. This young man, it was dark. I was in a rush. He stops and he says, "Are you David Valentin?" And I said, "Oh yeah, man. I'm thinking, somebody that watches the show, whatever." And he told me his name. He's like, Thomas Williams. I'm like, oh, great, man. We're gonna be doing blah blah blah. And I left. When I get in my car, I realized I was talking to the Thomas Williams. I was so embarrassed, and Thomas, if you're listening to this, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I'm talking about nonsense instead of dedicating time to the young man. His family caught up with me a year later, and like the whole family was so appreciative of the fact that I had dedicated time to talk about their son, grandson, nephew, and John and I met. All of us have been to OCB games, and we feel that he has the talent. And I have to say that like Thomas Williams is sort of our poster child for some of the discrepancies that we're seeing in the academy. There has been some players that I felt had a future with Orlando City that are here no more, and and Thomas is still around, and I don't want us to lose him over this over nonsense.
Yeah.
Kyle Smith is a great player, but he's not a natural center back.
All right, all
Okay?
right. No, wait, hold
But
on,
can we
David.
just like
Wait a minute.
even
Wait a minute. He's
He's a
not great.
serviceable player. Okay, I'm
He
not.
is. He is average.
but
Like
He's a serviceable player.
he's not great. Like
Right,
let's
right.
put
Yeah,
the
he's
but
not a
guys,
world
facts out
beater.
there.
But
but guys,
He's not
the
listen.
thing is
great.
that when you put him as a center back, you are trading experience for height, youth, and athleticism. You put a hungry Thomas Williams, and how do I know he's hungry? Look at his postings on social media. Look at how he plays with OCB. He wants to be there. I know. I've been that guy at jobs early in my career, like working weekends, working nights, doing everything because I want to be out there. I want to say, "Hey, coach, look at me!" Right? So the fact is that we had an opportunity to play a natural center back, and we choose to put a replacement. That to me, that was not smart. Oscar Pareja in his post game interview said that all the blame goes to him. Oscar, I appreciate that you are dishonest and that you don't blow smoke up our what. But the fact of the matter is that we understand that you have your favorites, and sometimes when the pressure comes in, you tend to go back to your comfort zone. What makes you feel comfortable? Putting Thomas Williams probably wasn't the safest decision, but it was the right one. And on that, I have to criticize you. On that, I have to say you got it wrong. You got it wrong. Okay, Thomas Williams doesn't because the fact of the matter is that Smith was gassed. Ahmed knew it. Yeah, he on our chat. He's like, dude, the guy is tired. If you look at that Mueller goal. I don't think it happens if Thomas Williams would have been in that position. I'm willing to bet the farm that doesn't happen.
But
But again,
David,
now we go, oh, it's my fault, blame me. Doesn't mean that we get the points back. In
Yeah.
Toronto, we're playing for our lives for the third time under Oscar Pareja. Because people comfortably forget that twice already we had to play and win on decision day to make the playoffs. Last time was against Columbus, and the football gods gave us a gift that the one team that will benefit from our defeat, we were playing those guys. But
David, the only quote I needed to hear from Poppy, he may have said earlier in the press conference that he takes the blame for the loss, but that was probably somewhat scripted. But you hear his response. You hear what he says later, and I'm reading the quote. Losing Robin made us change the team tactically, but it's not an excuse. I use this adversity to develop another answer. We usually respond well to adversity, but we did not play our best in the second half. To me, that's him putting it on the players. And yes, he does say a lot of times in his press conference early on that he takes full responsibility from it. But then you carry on when he's answering, and it's not, so necessarily scripted that he puts the blame back on the players.
Yeah, and that's like another
And
thing.
to continue, kind of the assessment of the game past the 69% and why we substituted when we did and all of that, you know, the substitute one, we didn't make a single substitution until what, the 80th minute. Again, that goes on Poppy not playing the young players earlier in the season when we need them. And then David brought it up: are the players not good enough? We obviously have good enough players because the number of players that we have consistently getting called up for their national teams, consistently getting minutes and starting for their national teams. So that's not the issue.
You mean like
Um,
Spicer this past weekend?
yeah, Spicer had a brace. Marco,
Spicy tea, bro.
according
Spicy
to
tea.
FootMob,
What a guy.
Marco had the highest rating on FootMob for their match yesterday. I didn't see what Brecalo did today, but Brecalo started both matches so far for his country. We have the players, that are good enough. That's shown that they're good enough to play. That are given the chance by their national team. That are I can't think of the word right now. That's used, but they have spots on the national team. Ojeda's probably very close to breaking into Argentina's national team.
Friends, if Ojeda was of any other nationality, he would have been in the national team already.
Yes, or playing in Europe somewhere.
He's in a very difficult national team to
Yes,
get into.
but
You know.
the fact of the matter is this is you know people want to speculate this, that, the other. Why are we trying to sign Eric Carlson when our DPs with Poppy coaching should be going to our defensive unit? Because that's how he wants to play.
Yeah.
He's ruined every striker we've had,
I'll
including
tell
Duncan
you what.
McGuire. He's ruined every striker that we've had. And I'm even including Muriel in that. He's
I'll
ruined
tell
every
you.
striker we've signed. But yet our defensive players do well under him. Seems to elevate the defensive players. So why are we wasting designated player spots on an attack when all we need is a single goal? And then he's just going to drop back and play defensively for 75 minutes of the match anyway.
Can I bring this up just a second? I
Go
tell
for it.
you what, I was against this Richarlison signing, but then I realized his personality, and it might actually create some freaking feud of all time, because I know Richarlison's a kind of do what you want type player. I'm gonna play my game, forget what you want,
Oh shit!
and like Pappy or Oscar Pereira is in his own, he's stuck in his own ways as well, which is like, I'm going to sit back and defend. So this might cause a feud of all time, and it might actually help us in the long run if
Wow.
we actually sign Richarlison, because he is that type of player that you kind of need. He's a personality one. He is. Like, he's a bloody nutcase. He'll die for he'll die if he's on your team. He'll die for your team. Somebody you need, and he'll do his own thing. Sometimes he will do his own thing, and he's got the ability to create, magical moments. He's a quality player. Played for like Tottenham, played for Everton. You know,
He's on the Brazil
he's
national
on, he's on the
team.
Brazil national team,
That's all you got to say.
which says it
Minor,
all.
minor detail.
Which says it all, to be honest. But a fiery personality like him could actually shake up Pereira's coaching style big time, because he is that player that has so much belief in himself,
But we
and
had
he'll
that
just
player.
say, "What?
We had that player his first couple seasons.
Who?
Oh,
Nani.
Nani.
Oh yeah." But I feel like Nani is still like. I feel like he's a more fiery character than Nani.
And younger.
I
I
feel like
disagree on
No
that.
offense, I feel Nani's smarter.
Oh yes, Nani would
Yeah.
do it more
Like this
tactfully
guy
than
is this guy is a
Brazil.
nutcase in general. Like he is just a pure footballing guy, and if he will absolutely shake up this team in a good way or a bad way. It could go
Right.
either way, but
Yeah.
I think this could
Yeah.
honestly benefit us coaching wise because if Pereira's stuck in his own ways, a fiery character like him could shake up this team.
Yeah. And
And
what,
We gotta win games
why
when they
not?
matter.
one
We
other
need a
thing I
champion.
wanted to bring up before we move on to the comments and then move on, before we move on, is you look at Vancouver, they were second in the West, only a handful of points behind San Diego. And what do? They go out and sign Thomas Mueller.
Hmm. And
That's
you
a
know what?
team
They
that
haven't lost
was,
the game since.
yeah, they haven't lost a match since. That's the type of move that we're calling, not necessarily a Thomas Mueller type player, but a player that's going to elevate this team to that next level.
I
We
mean,
have it's
he's won more league titles than hot dinners. That guy,
well, that's
bloody
easy
hell.
when you play for
You
Bayern.
guys saw the reaction of the Vancouver players when that ball went in.
Yes, because they all knew. They all
They
knew at
just
that point.
following him. That to me said. By the way, who's the captain in Vancouver? Is it Mueller?
I think so.
I
I
think
Okay,
think
he's
because
he
I
yeah,
didn't
was
hear the
already
captain.
now.
beforehand.
He's the captain. Okay, I as someone who was in the military, I can tell you one thing: when people love their leader, they are willing to walk to hell and back holding
It's okay.
full gas cans. I had a man like me like that, Master Chief Mason. I have said that. I have told the story. He was the keynote speaker at my friend Ed's retirement ceremony in 2015. And when that man saw me and a couple of Ed's friends that from back in the day that went to the ceremony, he came to us and said, I don't remember your names, but I know you serve under me. And he said, please tell me that you have done something with your lives. And when we were telling him about going to school and all the jobs, he said, out effing standing. I would have never expected any less from my man. And I tell the story all the time. At that point, if there was an open recruiting office, I would have gone and joined, taken my fat ass in there and join again. I
Yeah.
wanted I wanted somebody to put a uniform in me. I wanted to go out to sea. I just wanted to go fight wars because that's what, when you have a leader, when you have a
Yeah.
mentor that pushes you like that, you know, was I upset that we lost the game? Absolutely. But what a beautiful moment to see a team that has been in the mud, stuck in the mud for years, to want to have a catalyst of a player like that and change and savor that moment.
Yeah.
We haven't had anybody like that since Nani.
And to
Not
your point,
nothing
David.
against, we haven't had anything like that since Nani. And this fan base that loves that sweet sweat equity is hungry for that. We had Kaká, we had Nani. We need somebody to to rally around. We want a brave heart. You know what I'm saying?
With also the end of Nani. Well, sorry, not Nani. You brought up Nani. I know it was in my head. With also possibly seeing the last of Janssen. You know, we need a captain.
Yeah. But honestly, to your
We need a
point, David,
captain.
it's like you saw it when you were watching the match. I actually noticed that about Mueller. He was out there not just playing, he was directing that team. Like he was truly leading them
With a player
in
with
that.
experience, helping
Yeah. Like you
inexperienced
saw it.
players.
You could see it. Like when he wasn't playing, he was telling them what they need, and not in a negative way, but in a leadership way that
Yeah, he was
the team
making
was
good
moving as
players
a unit.
great players and
Yeah.
average players good players.
Yeah.
Like that
I
is
mean,
what you need in a player.
yeah.
You want a player, you want a guy. I'm sorry for all the people watching, like Messi,
No,
who made
yeah,
who
we had.
made
It's like
good
hard medicine,
football.
bro.
What?
It's like hard medicine.
It
You gotta
is. It
follow
is
it.
like tough medicine. Who make these average players, these awful players, look like half decent players. You know, who made like flipping Campana, who would like he made Campana look like he was something else,
And look
and
at
he's
him in
not.
New England.
And he's not. He's
Mhm.
not. but
Yeah.
that's the effect he has on
Right.
people. That's the effect, and
I
it's
don't know if you guys noticed how many people with German national team jerseys were
Yep.
at the stadium, and
Yes.
how many German nationals that live in Orlando that probably have never gone to an Orlando City game, or they
Hmm.
just been to a couple of them, and we have late an egg like this cheering for the man.
Yeah.
Imagine if we made a signing like that.
just
Imagine that.
imagine if we made a Brazilian signing like that with the amount of Brazilians that live in
Well,
Orlando.
but
It's
that's a big part of
350,000 Brazilians
that.
for
yeah,
Orange
Let me
County
tell
home.
you, that's a big part of the reason they're looking at Richarlison. They're not dumb, right? They're looking at him for all those reasons that you guys talked about. You think about it, right? Kaká, Nani, where they hello? They're not dumb. It's just I don't know. They're just greedy. Anyway, so moving
Let's
on.
get some comments. We got
Yeah,
some comments
let's
stacked
get
up.
some comments. I'll bring them up, John, if somebody can.
I'll read them.
Yeah. Let's see here.
My dad, Ray, said, as a coach, if you're going to play poppy ball, you must have your team fit enough to play for 90 minutes. The last 10 minutes every game, the entire team is completely spent. I'm going to comment on that after we get through the comments. Mr. Top Cat 11 said
Oh,
Oscar had absolutely no faith in the
I was
bench.
gonna.
He would not play Thomas Williams in this game. I hope Robin is doing okay. And then my dad continued, like I said, Thomas Williams, 1 game, 10 minutes in 2025.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, especially Leagues Cup since league, in Leagues Cup going forward, we look absolutely famished at the end
Listen,
of matches.
I mean, the
we
last
look
one,
knackered.
two, three, four, five, 6 matches, we've only won one of our regular season matches, not counting the League's Cup. Right? We've only won one, and that was against Nashville. Everything else was a draw or a loss. And now we find ourselves in what, seventh place? Next week we go to where? Toronto to play Toronto. And people are like, oh, it's Toronto. Well, you know what? We're playing Toronto, and every team below Toronto, because Toronto's not at the bottom. Every team that we've played, Montreal, Atlanta, or DC, we have not won against any of those three. We either drew or lost. So if you think that we can't lose to Toronto, I've got news for you. We can.
We can.
Well, here we go. This is another point of research I made. So I didn't include Atlanta in there because I don't have enough respect for them to include them in any list I make. Um, but I got New
Yeah.
York, Red Bulls, New England, Toronto, Montreal, and DC. So, 5 of the worst teams in the league.
Mhm.
We had a potential of getting 27 points from them. How many points do you guys think we accomplished to get?
Oh, I don't even know. Two.
Oh, more than that, but
Yeah, I know.
6.
15,
Oh, 15.
just a little bit over half.
Okay. Still not
So,
good enough.
no, we
But
dropped 12 points to 5 teams that are on the bottom of the table. And
Yeah.
we're sitting here talking that we want to finish top four. First, top four is a loser's mentality. You should always be trying to win. I know he said
yeah,
it kind of later, midway through the season, and I get that. But the mentality should be, even if it's the last day of the season and you're in last place, we're trying to get first place. Trying to just get top four. Well, you don't get top four. Oh, we got six. We only missed it by 2 spots and 2 points. And you always try to win the league, especially in a league like MLS where the parity is unmatched in any other really soccer in any other league in the world. You go all out every season and try to win it. None of this, oh, top four, I'll just make the playoffs. I said it before the match. Making the playoffs, making that first round, just means your season didn't absolutely suck.
Unless you're in seventh or eighth.
Yeah, and then even then you have an argument for why it did. And
Yeah.
to me, if we don't make it to at least the second round, Poppy should be fired the next day.
You
If
heard it here first.
Carter wants to put his mouth his money where his mouth is, Poppy will be fired if we exit before the second round.
You know what, it's a
Or
really
wild
hard
card
argument
game.
to
I
disagree
will
with
add
you
that.
because if you look at where we finished last year, even though that was a disaster in that sense, losing at home against the Red Bulls. But every year should be at least the same or better.
And you
There's
look
no
at
reason.
you look at what we finished
We have to remember. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
every year since we finished second the last two seasons. So we finished second in 24
Oh,
or
sorry. Yeah.
23. 24 we finished fourth. This year we're finishing no better than probably seventh or fifth, I'll say.
Yeah, well, last year we benefited from Atlanta doing a miracle, taking care of the number one team, and then Cincinnati was two. They were out. So I mean, in theory, we should have never been hosting the conference championship, which we lost to a team that did not make playoffs this
And,
year.
and David, why did we lose that one? How did we go out and
Because
play?
again, John, we were playing defensively again, conservatively. You're at home for a
All the time.
trophy, for a trophy. Listen, this is how decision day comes out to be. First, at all games kickoff at 6 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, the West is going to be kicking off at 9. Atlanta United and DC fighting for the wooden spoon. Personally, I would love to see Atlanta winning the wooden spoon, the wooden spoon, because for years we heard how great they were as an organization. Well, and we kept telling them, you have a good run, enjoy it, because football is cruel and unpredictable. But yeah, hey, I was told that they were good enough to beat every team in the Scottish Premiership, so here we are, and that we have the games that matter to us: Columbus against Red Bull, Nashville against Miami, and Orlando against Toronto. Oh, and I forgot Chicago against New England. As of right now, we are seventh. So if we
So,
win, the best we can do is six. We cannot overtake New York City because the
Point difference.
tiebreaker actually. Let me take that back. Seventh is the best because the tiebreaker is
Yeah,
win, and Nashville has 16 and New York City has 17. So we are.
but David, I actually have it here like written down.
Go
This is
ahead,
what
brother.
I said.
Read it
If
if you can.
Orlando City wins, a victory would guarantee them to avoid the wild card match, meaning they'd secure a top 7 seed and go straight to the round 1 best of 3 series. If
And if we
results go their way, they could push into 6th place should Nashville lose or draw.
okay,
So,
and if we tie, then we depend on Chicago and Columbus to lose their
yeah,
their their individual games, right?
yeah.
just Chicago. Chicago. If Chicago draws and we lose, as I'm looking at the table, we would still be
They
up.
take over. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. I'm looking at it because they got 15 wins.
Yep. So I mean, if you take it by the way wins are, it could be a sad irony. But literally, first place will have 20, second place will, or right now, first place has 20, second place has 19, third and fourth have 18, fifth has 17, sixth has 16th. There's seventh with us and 14th, and then Chicago has 15, one place under us.
This is insane.
So I mean, we're
Wow.
talking about a team that, I mean, how many of our 11 draws where the team scored at the death, or at least in the 80 something minute? A lot. Montreal, I can think of. Atlanta, we had the lead going, late until
Right
six.
before getting a stupid red card because we gotta show bravado for some reason.
And those are just two right off the top of off of my head. Now, yes, against Cincinnati a couple weeks ago, we did score that late one, and if we don't score that late one to have the draw, we're sitting in eighth place right now.
I'm so
Here,
upset.
my dad makes a good point that I want to bring up
Go ahead, brother.
because I was about to say that. My Ray said the best defense holds onto the ball and does not let the opponent have the ball. Vancouver had a much better defense Saturday.
Absolutely, I agree, Ray.
Well,
But now,
that's what I've been saying for weeks now is, and honestly, with us this past Saturday, it was the whole second half. We have these spells and matches for 15, 20, 25 minutes where we can't clear our lines. And for those that don't understand what that means, I'm not saying clear the ball. That's clearing the ball. That's getting the ball out of your area. Clearing our lines means our lines move up the field.
Yeah, it's not
That
only
means
clearing the
the
ball, but it's following the play.
yes. That's
You know,
not just
not
us
sitting
getting
on
the
your
ball
6 yard
out
box.
to the sideline and booting it upfield and having a mini reset. No, that's us having possession, clearing our side of the field of the ball and players other than the goalie and maybe a center back or two, and having possession of the ball. That's what clearing your lines means. And we don't do that in the crucial moments of the game. Even when Cesar, I brought up Cesar's red card because I saw my dad's comment pop up. Let me to it. Cesar's red card doesn't happen if we're able to clear our lines consistently in that match. Because up until that point, we had been defending for 10 or 15 minutes. To another one of my dad's points about fitness, Luke, you're the most recent one to play soccer competitively among all of us.
Yeah.
Um, is it more, and you're a center back. Is it more tiring defending or being on the attack for the entire team?
Oh, it's more tiring defending.
Yeah. So why do you think our
It's
team looks
it's massive
absolutely gassed at the end of matches? It's because they're defending for
because
45 to 70 minutes.
you're not only focusing on the ball, you're focusing on the striker that's in front of you, the
Ah,
wingers that are in there because you might need to assist your left
I'm
back and your
getting
right.
I'm getting PTSD listening to this.
Yeah, and then
It's the same
you're
show.
getting
It's the same
chirped
show
at.
every year.
You're getting chirped at by the manager, which, by the way, isn't the coach. It's your
Oh.
goalkeeper. Your goalkeeper's yelling at you all the time, and yeah, it's yeah, you have no idea.
I will close with this, so we won't harp on this. First of all, I want to thank everybody that always watches us. I know I always joke that when we're doing our worst is when we have the biggest downloads, the biggest live people, all that. I know everybody loves to see a train wreck, and nobody can. Everybody slows down to look at a fender bender. I have to say this: you cannot contain pressure until eventually you're gonna break. I, I'm challenging the club. You have 1 year to win me back. Otherwise, I'm canceling my season tickets. It's a luxury at this time. I
I
want to
think
buy a
a lot of people
house, and next year get myself back in a mortgage, and I cannot justify to my accountant and my wife the money that I would be spending on the season tickets for this. And finally, I have to say this. You know, we have to win simply because this is a fan base that has been built on winning. We're seeing Inchi returning to Central Florida with a USL club, and
Yeah.
there's already people saying, "Well, if we keep going down this way, maybe I'll save a few dollars and go support those guys." Not my words, not my words.
Wait, I'm not
People.
aware of this. What do you mean?
No, 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 I'm talking about people. People are already saying, people are already giving up on Orlando City because they
See,
they
I
they
seen it on X
feel.
with when the announcement came for Port St. Lucie today.
Oh, I'm sorry, Luke. You didn't know
Oh,
that?
no, I
There's
didn't know.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Adrian Heath is rumored to be the next manager slash CEO of USL. We assume championship, maybe League One, that is going to be playing in Brevard County.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not
Sorry,
familiar. Sorry
that's
for
what you meant.
everyone. I'm not football mad like
I,
I'm not
I
familiar with that. That
personally,
was last
He's
news to
got
me.
midterms
So
going on. He's got midterms going on. He's got
yeah,
he's
yeah.
got a valid excuse.
Somebody
I took a
productive.
midterm today, by the way.
Nice.
You're being productive. I'm a sicko. If I invested this much
No,
time
but
on my
that's
family,
interesting
my
to hear.
job, forget it.
It's interesting to hear that.
By the way, I do this with all the teams that I follow, so you can imagine the amount of time that I waste on football alone on a daily basis. But I finish with this. We gotta win, and there's no excuse on Tuesday. I'm sorry, on Saturday. If the results don't go our way next Monday, please be there. I'm not gonna lose my cool or anything, but I think it's gonna be our best show because we're gonna lay it all out. We're gonna lay it all out. I'm
The
gonna
end
be
of
showing
season
up.
review. Who would miss that?
Oh, goodness gracious! Listen, it's insanity. Quick thing. We want to congratulate because I know there's a lot of people from this nationality in Orlando, the Cape Verde Islands, where Nani's from, and Cristiano Ronaldo's great grandmother's from. That's right. CR7 has a little brother in him. Have finally punched in their ticket to be in the World Cup for the first time, and also the Faroe Islands, Danish dependency between Scotland and Iceland, is a game away from going into the wild card game to make it into the World Cup. So, by the way, Faroe Islands population 53,000 people, basically less than St. Cloud or Oviedo, and the Cape Verde Islands, one of the smallest African nations, and Ahmed has experience with the Afcon. This is a
It's
bloodbath. I wish we could watch it here in the states, because it's 54 teams. It's not like Concacaf or CONMEBOL, with their 10 teams that you already know who top three are gonna be. AFCON is the one that you
It
have
is.
to watch.
It's a.
So
It's a. It's a. It's
yeah,
a.
bloodbath. And one last thing, Trinidad and Tobago, incredible game by Spicer, who had Dan Phillips from Steve Enich as his teammate. All I have to say is, like said, like the guy said before, if our guys can go on international duty and perform like Brecalo and God,
Marco.
Marco, thank you, brother, who had an assist. Uh,
He had
why
player
can't
of
they
the
do that here?
match for Croatia.
Exactly, Croatia, a team that finished second in the 2018 Russia World Cup.
Don't talk about that.
Well, hey,
No.
listen,
No.
enough said. So, guys, thank you very much. I'll leave the guys with their final thoughts. Come 6 p.m., let's root for the boys and hope for the best. And regardless of what happens, we'll be here on Monday like we always.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
my final. Go ahead, Luke.
I
Or Med
wasn't
or
saying. I
whoever.
didn't say anything.
No.
Ahmed.
Okay. My
No.
final thought is I was appalled, embarrassed, infuriated after the match Saturday. We left right at the whistle and stood outside the steps of the supporter entrance slash exit, waiting for some friends of ours to get out of the stadium. And the amount of people that I heard trying to blame the referees for our loss was astounding. My X handle is right there underneath my name. If you want to know why we didn't lose, I'll send you the link and highlight, or send you a screenshot and highlight the reasons. And I'll say them right now why we didn't win. We had 31% possession to 69%. That's simple math. We had 4 total shots to 24 total shots. We had 3 shots on target to 9 shots on target, and we only had one big chance. Now, albeit Montreal or Vancouver only had two, but we didn't have a single shot past the 24th minute of the match.
Can I say one thing as well? For everyone watching or is going to watch, we were at home. We were at home. This is a home game, not an away game. We were at home. John said all those stats. That's a team that looks like they've lost away from home. We lost at home, which is mind boggling and should scare every single season ticket holder, fan of this club, and should start questioning now.
To a team that flew 7 hours and 4 time zones.
Yep. So, with that being said, this off season, if those that are interested want to DM me at my on my X, I will be holding a 4 week course in the off season for the basics of soccer, $24.99 each, limited time offer. Um, you know, so hit me up on that if you guys are interested, and we'll go over the basics of soccer, because I know David said maybe it's just the people in the supporters section are this way, but after Saturday, I honestly felt like we have the dumbest fans in the league. If you watch that match, and we're trying to blame the officiating for us losing.
Yeah. I mean, I th- the experience I had with the fans that were around me, they were all complaining about how we were playing and how we were just sitting back and parking the bus and just hoping for the
You
best.
had
So,
Miguel Gallardo
oh
sharing
yeah, by the
Go
way,
right next to you. I
Yeah,
mean,
Miguel Gallardo was behind me. David was like, "Go say hi to him." The guy was with his daughter. I didn't want to bother him, so but you could see in his
Now,
reaction.
I
Man.
saw that picture, and he looked like he just wanted to run into the tunnel and change.
I think he might have not been happy that I was trying to take a picture with him in the background.
Listen, he
But
knows who
anyway,
you are. He's probably wondering
yeah,
why doesn't he stand up and say hello? I don't know.
yeah. No, I know, I know.
By the way, quick thing. I mean, before you continue, I just because I was just reminded that I don't give my Twitter or X a handle for those for the benefit of those on audio is at a Florida underscore man 76 a Florida underscore man 76. Go follow me. It's not what I used to be. I'm a new man. So
The most frustrating part about this match was had our season been different, had we been playing the way that we were supposed to, not dropping the points that we shouldn't have dropped, this would have been an easier loss to swallow. Even though it's our last match and you wouldn't, but you're playing against the second place team in the West, so you know it's going to be a fight, and you know that you're down players and you're hurt. But the problem is, we this is the way we've been playing, right? So if
Yeah.
had we not given up points early in the season and been in a better position, I think this would have been a different conversation right now. And I think that's really the frustrating part about all of this is that we put ourselves in this position and we're continuing to play this way. So if you
Ahmed,
think that things are going to go uphill from here, there's a reason we said it. It's a slippery slope.
Ahmed, can I hit you with this?
Yes, please.
You just said if we played like we're supposed to be playing. Well, fun fact: Pereira is playing how he's playing the style of play we're supposed to be playing. He's playing
Yeah,
exactly how we're supposed to be
I
playing.
guess poor choice of words. I guess poor choice of
So
words.
Ahmed, I
how
completely
we
agree
want
with
to
you.
play.
We go into the match this past Saturday winning 6 of our last 7, or having more than one win in our last 7. There's the excuses there. Yes, we were supposed to lose the match.
Yeah.
We were down three crucial players and our
Yeah.
first substitute off the bench. But we hadn't. This was a must win, and we come out.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and that's what's the most frustrating part about it. It's not that it was just a loss to them. It's because this is the way we've been playing, regardless. Whether it's like the 13th place team or the second place team from the West, we're playing the same way and expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. It's not going to work. We need to do something different. We need to do something better. So,
And we've been playing that way for 5 seasons.
yeah. Another thing, I'm sorry that I keep interrupting because we're already going to 2 hours on this thing. Happy 250th birthday to the U.S. Navy. Hoo-yah! There we go.
there we go. All right. So let's wrap it up. We're going to leave you the only way we know how, reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper, that football is cruel and unpredictable, that football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have not cried for joy or anger over football, have you ever really footballed? For John, David, Misael, myself, and Luke, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!